Hi boys and girls, I'm so excited to tell you that today we are starting a brand new unit in math, and this unit is called Adding and Subtracting 3-Digit Numbers with Regrouping. So earlier this year we did adding and subtracting 2-digit numbers. Now we're doing 3-digit numbers that look like this. All right, so before we get started, I want to make sure that you have all of the materials that you're going to need for this lesson and some materials that you're going to use across the whole unit. So the first thing that you're going to need is pieces of paper that have the numbers 0 through 9 on them. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0 through 9 on cards. And these cards, we're going to be using them throughout the unit, so I would like for you to make sure that you keep them. Don't throw them away when you're done. I used index cards, so you could do that too if you have some. If not, you just need pieces of paper that are close to the same size. The next thing that you're going to need for this lesson are these two sheets. The first one looks like this. It says, how high? If you don't want to print out this paper, this is one that's really easy to make on your own. And you can see up here it has a place for a partner's name. We are going to do this individually since we are at home, but this is the same sheet that we would have been using in the classroom. For this lesson, you're also going to need access to the online base 10 blocks, which I'm going to be showing you how to use in this lesson, and a writing utensil. All right, let's get started. So let's talk a little bit about big numbers. We are beginning to work with really big numbers here, and I want to give you some examples of where you might have seen big numbers before. So over here I have a new poster we're going to be referring to with examples of big numbers. So on this list I've listed a few things that you've probably seen or heard before. The first one says, there are 550 students at Santa Rita. That's a big number, right? 550, that's a lot of us. This one here says, my house number is 906. An example that you might see in the real world of these big numbers is definitely house numbers. Some have 4 digits, some have 2, but many do have 3. I also have the bike costs $137. If you look at price tags on more expensive items, you'll often see that they have 3 digits. And down here at the bottom it says, there are 365 days in the year. I'm sure all of you have heard that before, that there's 365 days in every year. This year is a special year because February has 1 extra day. So there's actually 366 because it's leap year. So I want you to be thinking about examples of big numbers that you see out in the world. So if you think of one, make sure to leave it in a comment for your teacher. Today we are going to focus on the 100, and we talked about the 100 before when we were using our base 10s. So what I want to do right now all together is count to 100 using base 10 blocks or rods. On this app there are rods that are tall and rods that are long. Either is fine. It doesn't really matter. They mean the same thing because they both equal to 10. So one of these rods equals 10. So what you do is you take it and you drag it. So this is 10 right here. When I put 10 more, what number am I at? I get to 20. Another 10, 30, 40. Make sure you're counting with me. What's this one? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So you can see here that 10 rods makes a flat, and a flat is 100. So here we have flats. So 10 of those rods put together makes one flat or 100. So now let's practice counting by hundreds, okay? I'm going to show you how to drag those onto the screen too. So we have, I'm going to put a little space in between them. 100 plus another 100 gives us 200. If I add another 100, we're at 300. As you can see, you can scroll as far as you want up and down this page so you have lots of room. I'm going to try to keep them all on the screen, but I don't know if I'll be able to. 400, 500s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 500s. 600. 700. What would this represent? 800. 900. And when we add one more, what do we get to? What's 900 plus another 100? 900 plus 100 more gives us 1,000. I'm going to put this here so that we can see it better. I'm learning how to use this app too. Okay, so each of these hundreds, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. So that is how you count by hundreds using these flats. After you get to 1,000, you can keep counting on. If I added another 100 to this screen, what number would that give me? That would give me 1,100. And so on. If I added 100 on top of that, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, and then another 100 will give me 2,000. So you keep counting on and on by hundreds until you get to the next 1,000, just like when you keep counting on by tens until you get to the next 100. Okay, so today you're going to do a little activity to see how close to 1,000 you can get. We played some games similar to this earlier in the year when we were trying to get to 100, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a refresher of how to play. All right, so for this game, you are going to need this online application as well as your paper that says How High. So you're going to do your recording on this How High sheet from what's on your screen. Okay, so I'm going to clear off my screen and I'm going to show you how to do that too. So you can select more than one thing on your screen by clicking Shift and clicking on the things you want to select. I just held down my Shift button on my keyboard and I selected all of these pieces. Now I'm on my keyboard and I'm going to press the delete button. You could also use this button right here. Both of them will work, okay? It says delete the selected items. I'm going to say yes. These are all individual, so I'm going to want to click on all of them and make sure that they get deleted off my screen. Oops, I missed one. So you can also press this button right here. Okay. So you want to start off with a blank screen and your paper for this game. And don't forget that you're going to need something to write with as well. All right, so I'm going to teach you the rules of how to participate. You have your recording sheet and you also have your cards. And you want to shuffle up your cards. You don't want them in number order. You want them mixed up and random. And then you want to put them face down so that you can't see the numbers. So they're in front of you and you can't see the numbers until you flip one over, okay? So my cards are down and I've got my recording sheet. What you're gonna do is you are gonna choose two cards, and you're gonna see what the biggest number that you can make with those two cards is. Remember, the biggest number you can make. So I'm gonna pull my two cards. I got a 2 and a 5. I could make two numbers with these, right? I could make 52 and I could also make 25. For this purpose, I'm going to make 52 because I want the biggest number that I can make, 52. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show 52 on my screen right now. So I'm going to grab 10 rods. 1, 2. Remember, 5 10s equals 50. I'm going to put them together so that when I get to 100, I can make it a 100. When you get them close together like this, they'll sort of just click into place. Okay, so now I have 50, and how many ones do I have? 2. So I'm going to pull 2 ones, and I'm also going to put these close together for the same reason. So I have 52. What I'm going to write on my paper is I'm going to go into this, sorry, I'm trying to make sure you can see. I'm going to go into this cards drawn box. There's a box on your paper that says cards drawn. So what I'm going to do on here is there's two boxes. There's one that says cards drawn right here. And then there's one that says largest number. So since I drew a 2, then a 5, I'm going to write 2, 5 for the numbers on the cards that I drew. In this box here where it says largest number, I'm going to write the largest number I can make with those cards. So that would be 52. So your sheet will look something like this. And then over here it says running total. And your running total is the total number that you have on your screen as you go through each of these rounds. So there are 7 rounds on this paper, and you're going to keep a running total, trying to get as close to 1,000 as you can. So you're starting, or I'm starting, with 52. Okay. So now I'm going to draw 2 more cards. I pulled a 0 and a 3. So on my paper, I'm going to mark 0, 3 as my cards drawn. What's the biggest number I can make with a 0 and a 3? I could make a 3, but I could also make 30. So I'm going to write 30 in my next box. Now up on my screen, I'm going to show 30. I'm going to go 10. I'm going to scoot these over. 20. 30. Okay. 10, 20, 30. So now I have to add up my total because remember I had no ones in this one. So let's count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82. So my running total is 82 because 52 plus 30 gives us 82. I'm going to do one more round for you. All right, I pulled a 9 and a 4. So my cards drawn, I'm going to write 9, 4, and I'm going to think, what's the biggest number I could make? I could make 49, but the bigger number would be, what number is this? 94. Sorry, 94. Okay. So now I need to add 9 10s and 4 1s.
So let's see. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rods.
9 rods equals 90. Now I need 4 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see what I can do up here now. So I have 9 10s right here. How many 10s are in 100? There are 10 10s in 100. So I'm going to pull one of these 10s up here and add it right here to make 100. So now I have
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
You could just think about this as 100, and then you can count on. So 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 171, 172, 173, 174, 175, 176. And if it helps, you could even take these blocks apart so that it's easier for you to see. You can move them away from each other so that they're not stuck together to make them easier to count. That's okay too. So we are at 170. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 176. So in the box that says running total, I'm going to write 176. So you can see I started at 52, and I'm at 176 so far. So you're going to keep doing this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds and see how close you can get. Down here at the bottom it says, what number did you get to? You can tell me in the comments what number you got to, because today you don't have to submit this paper. This is just an intro practice for you. But if you want to let us know what number you got to, you can always leave a comment on the assignment, okay? Now, as you're doing this, you're probably going to run out of cards. So as you run out of your cards, you want to make sure you mix them back up and keep pulling. If you run out, you just mix up the cards again and start pulling all over again until you've done it 7 times. If you want to repeat the activity, you absolutely can. It's very easy to recreate this sheet if you don't want to print it out, and you can see if you can get closer to 1,000 on your second try. Please make sure that you're using this online resource to help you see what the hundreds, the tens, and the ones look like, right? The flats, the rods, and the cubes. It's really helpful, and it'll make sure that when we start doing our equations that we don't make little tiny mistakes. So I would love for you to get started on this task and make sure that you let us know how close to 1,000 can you get. All right, boys and girls, have a blast. Talk to you later. Welcome back, boys and girls. I hope you had fun trying to get as close to 1,000 as you could in 7 turns. Make sure that you let us know in the comments how close you got. What number did you get to? Okay, so there's a few things that I want you to remember from this lesson. The first thing that I want you to remember is that 10 tens equals 100. And remember that 10 tens looks like this, and these are called rods. 100 looks like this, and this is called a flat. These are rods, this is a flat. Flat means 100, rods mean tens. The next thing I want you to remember is place values. So the number that's farthest to the left, the further to the left, the higher the value of the number is. So remember, this 3 here, it doesn't just mean 3, right? What does this 3 represent? This 3 represents 300. What about this 6? What does it represent? The 6 represents 60. And these right here, this 5 represents the ones. So it actually represents 5. So this number is 365. Do you see how the further to the left we go, the higher the number is? The value is much higher here than it is here. 300 is way bigger than 5. So remember, the further to the left, the greater the value. And the value is how big the number is. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed our first math lesson of our new unit. We have lots of fun activities planned for you, and I can't wait to get started on them. If you would like to let us know how this assignment went, you can leave a comment. You can tell us more examples of big numbers. You can also share with us how close to 1,000 did you get in 7 moves. How close could you get to 1,000? All right, that's all for today, boys and girls. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.